YouTube, it does not make it easy to try to pre-program to go live. Okay. All right. So I've made it. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Sorry. See, that tells me I need to turn some things off. So I'm Monica. I hope you are well, and if not, I think you've come to the right place. So I've been meaning to cover this topic for a bit of time. I've kind of covered it a little bit, but I want to be more intentional because I'm also preparing myself in a way to get ready for going back into a school building. Okay, so I think I should start off by telling my story. So I've been an educator, a teacher for a lot of years. And I've had always started a school year almost, either getting sick or run down, or basically the combination of both. So when you get run down, you get sick. Okay, so you get stressed and all this other stuff. So I was teaching in 2006 and then got laid off in 2008 or 9, I believe. The shutdown, not the shutdown, but the first recession. I think we're currently in one right now. But I ended up, doing a lot of freelance work and things of that nature and stuff. And I also started giving music lessons. I'm also a performer, by the way. So all of this I know is like, well, aren't you this? I was like, yeah, I'm all that. That's the reason, again, how important it is for me to be healthy, to stay well. All right, so in 2015, I don't recall how it happened. Like, it could have been, I had this cough, and it was in the summer. It was in June of that year. And I recently picked up a new teaching position in a new school I was super excited about. Never had a chance to always admire the school from afar. And I finally got an opportunity to work there. So excited, so happy, and all the good stuff, and nervous too. But then that summer, I got this cough. And, I was also wasn't taking care of myself either very much. I ended up getting sick, really sick. And I didn't know I was more sick than I realized, because all I thought was like, oh, I'm gaining weight and I'm just having a hard time breathing. I don't know, it's whatever. It's summertime or whatever, and I'm just getting fat or whatever. So it wasn't until almost 2 weeks later, after I got this cough that I just couldn't shake, is when I found out I had pneumonia, walking pneumonia. And I had a panic attack. Yeah. That led me into the emergency room, and even there, they almost let me leave before the nurse, God bless nurses, seriously, talked to me one final time about, just some things. And she was like, well, let me check the x-ray again, because I mentioned the cough twice, and that's all I had. No fever. Of course, I was tired, but I had this cough I just could not shake. And so she went back and she checked the x-ray. And then she came back. She was like, so you have pneumonia. And I was like, what? Oh my goodness. So the only thing that pneumonia comes in a lot of different forms. I was still teaching my private lessons in a small space. So it could have been from one of those kids. Most likely it could have been from anyone. Like, I just didn't know. But anyway, so the recovery Having a new job, luckily I had the summer to recover, or try to at least to recover. So um, taking the meds that they gave me to, to kill off the pneumonia and all the stuff. But something else was creeping up in me, that I couldn't focus. I couldn't function. I was always tired. I did start the new teaching position. It was hard because I was getting progressively worse. And luckily I had now at this time health insurance, and I started to, go to a doctor. And this was one of the first things to me that where you got to trust your gut, literally. You got to trust yourself, knowing that something's not right, and you got to be your own advocate. So I went to this doctor. I live in Atlanta, by the way, so this is not a case of all white doctors or whatever, because when I went to the emergency room, the nurse, that doctor, they were black, okay? And then the doctor I went to, also black, okay? So it's not about that. So I went to this doctor for a checkup, for initial, I guess, wellness, and then telling her that I needed a referral because I also had really bad allergies, like really bad. I didn't know how bad it was until I started going to an ear, nose, throat physician. But anyway, so I went to her for the initial checkup and or thing, and I told her of what I was going through, and her response was, well, just eat right and exercise. And when she said that, and again, this is a black doctor, something just didn't sit well with me. Okay, it was just like there's something wrong with me, and I know I'm not crazy. There's something wrong with me, and so I didn't want to argue with her because she literally saw me for 15 minutes, and that was another thing. It's like you didn't even really take a look at me. You didn't ask me any questions, any follow-ups, or anything like that. So I was like, you know what? I kind of have to do this on my own, and thus started my wellness journey. I was already kind of spiritual back then anyway, but not too much, if that makes sense. um, I was passively spiritual, if that makes sense. Okay, um, so I was really looking into trying to figure out what was wrong with me. Why was I feeling all this? So started doing research, started asking questions of other people that I knew, other people who were in the healthcare field, and found out later for which all my research was starting to point to after the fact. Okay, so through a lot of my initial research, okay, and when I say research, I'm literally on YouTube right now. I have YouTube to thank. And the reason why is because people don't realize that the Mayo Clinic is on here. John Hopkins is on here. You can watch a lot of the same videos and lectures that all these up and coming doctors are watching. All of that is there. Okay, so it's not like I was just like running a little Google search and just picking up an article from Cosmo and saying, oh, well, that's it. No, I was going deep. I was going deep because I realized, and again, maybe this is where my spirituality came into play. Our bodies are beautiful machines. Our bodies can tolerate so much. Our bodies can do so much. And it was through me thinking and realizing that it's like we put our bodies through so much abuse. And when I see people who, I was just, the tip of the iceberg with being a little overweight. I also had vertigo on and off over the years and things like that. So again, part of the whole allergy thing, that was, a part of that. And just realizing, you know, when people get overweight, that it was like a thought experiment for me, to where it's like, well, you know, people who gain hundreds and hundreds, like 50, 100 pounds, and somehow they're still, I don't want to say they're well, but they're still functioning. They're able to walk and go to work and do this, but it's not, I know it's not the best thing for their body, but somehow they're still doing it. That means our bodies can withstand a lot. The whole idea of people having things like diabetes and things like that wasn't a thing almost 200 years ago. It was because, and again, I can go on forever about, you know, the research that I went through, but just knowing and realizing that our bodies can withstand a lot. But why should we force our bodies to withstand a lot? And so it kind of dawned on me that I want to be well and not just skinny, okay? Because that, a lot of people confuse being healthy with being skinny, and that's not what I'm saying. It's like, I want to be well, so well that it takes a lot for me to get ill, to get sick. And I don't need a compounding. Basically, that's what happens when people age and get sick. The things that they are doing, they're like, literally, when a doctor says lifestyle, the things you do to your body or not do for your body adds up. Okay? And so I was like, I'm just going to start fixing it all. Because I would also have like headaches a lot. And even when I was, you know, a lot thinner, I think I was, you know, as we go out into the world in our young 20s or whatever, you don't have you don't have money for food. So I was probably starving, quite honestly. But yeah, so having headaches a lot, ended up with vertigo. Of course, my cycle wasn't all that great either. I always had, like, you know, not the best skin, you know, oily skin and things like that. So I set off on, like I said, this quest to be well. I was like, I'm gotta find out what this is, because it seems like the doctors, like, I don't know what to tell them. Like, it was a situation of, you don't know what you don't know, but you know something's not right. So as I was doing my research and doing my studying and doing, you know, all these things to try to figure out what's wrong with me, I started learning about, you know, our immune systems, and learning about the importance of minerals, in which I'm about to cover, and started to also branch out into other things that helped build up my body, and thus my biohacking journey began. Okay, I found out what was really wrong with me, and I got the kind of confirmation from, like I said, a nurse friend, who told me, because I was sick with pneumonia, and because I was taking a certain kind of medication for such a long time, almost like a month and a half, because it wouldn't go away. It was just enough pneumonia to have me like whatever. So when it finally cleared out, it depleted me of magnesium, and that was the initial thing that was wrong with me. While I had brain fog, I would have, like, basically spells of which I would almost pass out, and this is at work. And of course, I was not ever really in a good mood. I was always like cold. It was not great. It wasn't great. And so I finally figured out what was wrong with me, and that's where I'm going to go into the first thing: magnesium. We all need more magnesium in our food, in our diets, because, well, okay, so the food industry, you would think that we would get these minerals from the ground, like we're supposed to in our plants and things of that nature. But because of the food industry and their like industrializing the turnover of the soil, we're not getting all the minerals that we actually need from the soil to be able to be in our food naturally. So we all need more magnesium, all. So I'm gonna show you my magnesium. So right now, I keep it in a container here. Magnesium is great for overall systems. Nowadays, people use it to help with calming the body down and sleeping. Yeah. But yeah, I started taking that, like I said, as early as soon as I started to realize what was wrong with me. I was like, let me go find the first magnesium supplement I can put my hands on, because something else, again, back to the spiritual aspect of this, things as simple as a salt bath. And I was thinking about it. I was like, salt, that's a mineral. And that's what got me into crystals. So once I realized, like, oh yeah, salt is a mineral, and like the baking soda has, like, the things in it, and people take like the Epsom salt baths and things like that, and that's good for your muscles and relaxation and all that stuff. And I was like, crystals have minerals in them, and some I don't know, I'm not a crystal expert, but I do know kind of a bit about crystals. A lot of the crystals you can't put in water because they're water soluble. But if you wear them, like right now I have labradorite on, but there's a silver backing on it. Sometimes the contact that these crystals have on your skin also helps. So a lot of the crystals are calcium based, that is healthy. Who knew? Healthy-ish. I don't want, look, I'm not a doctor. I'm gonna tell y'all now, I'm not a doctor. But anyway, so magnesium, more people need to be taking that more often. I take, I'm gonna get, like, I do have it in powder form, but I prefer on a daily basis, especially when I'm back at work full-time as a school teacher and coaching. I usually take it in capsule, like not capsule, tablet form, because it's easier to take that way first thing in the morning. So I take it daily. And then, so yeah, so now I want to get more into what do you actually take. But the thing is this, you've got to purge what's already been in your body out of your body first before you start putting other things into your body. You've got to start getting certain organs back working before you start putting other stuff into your body. Okay. So I definitely support a detox. I'm not a fan of juice detoxes that are out there because most times people end up getting the sugar things, and sugar is not, as I'm about to go into a bit later, not your friend. Okay? Sugar is not your friend at all. There are people who are what they call skinny fat. That's because it is now a modern day situation of having a fatty liver. And a lot of people think that that's just because people drink a lot, but your liver is your filtration organ. Like anything that your body that is not beneficial to your body, it is your liver's job to clear it out of your bloodstream. I'm talking about the things you put on your skin. I'm talking about almost the air you breathe, the water you drink. Okay? Your liver has to filter all that out, and you're overworking that liver. And so that's why even people who don't drink alcohol end up with, I don't want to say cirrhosis, but at least the fatty liver disease, because we have been, our food industry has overloaded manufactured food with sugar, unhealthy fats. I can go into the fat thing, but not today. But sugar for the taste, and salt. So sugar, fat, and salt, that is what food engineers have designed food to be able to, want for people to want to eat the food, to buy the food and eat the food, and then want the food some more. So they've engineered food. Okay, I hope that this is not a surprise to a lot of people. But yeah, so fatty liver is a thing, and I think it's way more common than people realize. So when I say detox, I'm actually talking about going straight fasting. Okay, and that was also something that I did years ago, because again, I was out there doing that research, like the research, and now it's a thing. Everybody's doing it now, but I don't think a lot of people understand why they're doing it. So fasting is definitely one of the easier ways to drop your insulin and to help your liver, to help your kidneys, help everything. Basically, give your whole digestion digestion system a rest. You will be fine. Okay, people, like one of the doctors that I would follow before he finally got a YouTube channel and everybody started taking his, like, basically getting his cred, Dr. Fung, Dr. Jason Fung. But the way he explained it made sense. It was like so many religions practice fasting anyway. It's like nobody's died. Like, why is this not a regular practice, like a regular thing? It is in certain religions, and nobody's just died because they didn't eat breakfast. Okay. And also the way he explained it, it was like, again, I kind of already knew this, like a food industry thing where back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, that they came down hard with this campaign about eating breakfast, most important meal of the day, and this and that. And so people were trained into thinking that you have to have a breakfast every day. Every day, okay? Like, even to this point right now, I don't even tell my mother I don't eat breakfast at all anymore. I might eat breakfast food later, but I don't eat a breakfast because I also get up way too early for that. Because by the time I start eating, it activates your digestive system. So anyway, fasting has been a thing. Fasting helps give your organs a rest, that lowers your insulin. You need that, because that's why so many people have insulin resistance, weight gain, diabetes, things of that nature. And it's sorry, I just noticed somebody was on, and I just realized, because I'm on my phone, sorry, I'm not at the desktop. I wanted to be here, over here. But so yeah, being on so many unhealthy things in our society. So it's not, like I said, it's not even just the food, it's the water or liquids that we drink, overtly sugary. It's right down to the skin things we put on our bodies. And so detoxing, you got to get it out of your system. Find a way to get it out of your system. The way I do it is I fast. Okay. I've done different kinds of fast. I've not done a dry fast because that's a little too hardcore for me. Like, I could probably do maybe a 24-hour dry fast, but I've done, the longest fast I've done was 12 days. And you know, it's necessary because you're trying to get your body a chance to restore itself. Now think about this. Now this is what Dr. Fung had said at one time. So like sometimes when you get sick, say like I don't know, regular sick, and you don't have an appetite, it's your body's way of saying, look, I don't, I got other things to be working on right now. It's like I'm working on those antibodies and whatever to you know, build us back up. Yeah, of course, mom and auntie and whoever want to give you chicken soup and stuff like that. You know, it's broth, it's liquids. There you go, bone broth. There you go. But for the most part, fasting is almost like a natural thing that most animals do when they're ill. Is they give their bodies that digestive break so that they can focus on healing. Okay, and it also raises your human growth hormone, which again that expedites your healing. So like I said, all these things I learned a while ago. I learned about autophagy, because when your body what they basically, autophagy is your body's eating itself. And not just the fat either. Okay, so yeah, detox before you you know, try to put something else into your system that might not be all that great. And then when it is time to put things back into your system, then you put things in there that are helpful to your body. Now before I go in more into that, make sure you like and subscribe. Okay, I am on the other social medias. Sorry, I'm on Instagram and TikTok. I kind of just started TikTok with this one. And yeah, so you want to definitely release a lot of the things that you can naturally. I don't recommend exercising while fasting, especially if you're new to it. You really have to kind of, sorry, I'm on. Let me turn the sound off. You really want to just take it easy. That's your rest time. Okay? It's your rest time. And then what else did I put down? Oh yeah, so I also took an allergy test because remember, I also had like severe, as I told you, severe allergies, puffy eyes, inflamed sinuses always, even like I said, dizziness to the point where I was, you know, so inflamed with nasal passages and ears. Oh yeah, I used to have ear infections too. Yeah, an adult with ear infections. So yeah, it's sinus infections and ear infections and stuff. So I was always congested. So I had to go take an allergy test, and this is what I also advise people to do. I went to a doctor to get one, and I did one online. So there's tests out there. I might have to look up the company I used, but it was like, by then it was 2018. When I went and did, like, they wanted a sample of my hair, and I sent it to them. So I think it was 2018 with going to that company. And then they send me back a report, and they tell me the things I guess I have been consuming, and the things that I've been allergic to. And that was after I went to do the doctor's allergy test. So in order to do the doctor's allergy test, though, you, again, surprise, surprise, you got to go into this protocol where you can't eat everything in the world. So one of the first things that they tell you not to eat, sugar. Yep. So no sugar, no breads, no fruits. So I'll just tell you what I could eat. Meat and greens. That was it. I couldn't even have tea, and I love tea. Okay, so nothing else. It was like water, meat. I couldn't even have eggs. Water, meat, and greens. And greens like spinach, kale, collards, you know, that kind of thing. Broccoli. So That's what I could eat, was allowed to eat up until my allergy test, where they'll prick you with a needle with the different things, so that you can see what it is that you're allergic to. Okay, so it has to get out of your system again, because remember what I said earlier. We, I don't want to say abuse, but our bodies put up with a lot of things. And if we've been compounding our bodies with all kinds of things over the years, then we don't really know what's actually the culprit. If we've always been eating sugar all the time and, I don't know, just, all the things that people get allergic to. Of course, I've got the hay fever thing, but you give your system a rest, and then you reintroduce those things that you might think that you're allergic to, just to see if you're allergic to them. Now, when I say allergic, there's, in my opinion, two kind of levels of this. So there's the allergic where you instantly like go into, shock, and your body's about to shut down. And then there's irritation, inflammation, like rash, swelling. It's mild-ish swelling, but irritable enough though. And at the same time, back to that liver, your liver's like, what are you doing to me? Sorry, I'm looking at myself in this. But anyway, so your liver is overworked. Your adrenals are like you're putting them through a lot. And then let's not even mention cortisol, and that also, causes people to gain weight. Cortisol is when your body is put through stress. Okay, and I mentioned this in another video where it's like, if a tiger just jumped up out at you, you go into fight, flight, or freeze, and cortisol comes at you, and it gives you the strength, the energy, and the wherefore to run, fight, or scream at the tiger or whatever. So, but the thing is this: we live in a modern time where everything is an emergency now. That's why you see me on my shorter videos where I'm like, hustle culture is killing people. Because everything is like, why are we all stressed out? Like, we live in, like, first of all, the first world country, first world problems, sitting here, and there's also better ways to do things nowadays. So it's not that whole like come up from nothing stories. But yes, there is, but then there isn't. So there's a bit of a hack in there now. So, but anyway, there's no need to have the cortisol involved, okay? There's no need. And again, this is me being a teacher, not only being a teacher, but being a teacher with like 2 other jobs on top of that. And, I love the jobs, I do. So, but it wasn't like my cortisol was changing by the time I got this newer job and started to learn my body more. Still, there were still things like headaches, and still kind of learning how to, navigate the fasting a little bit better, and staying away from certain foods, because again, I once I realized what I was allergic to, that's what, again, the allergic thing. So I do have a lot of allergies to certain things, but as long as I take those items that I know in moderation, and I probably need to take another food allergy test again anyway. It's good to get them done, every once in a while, just to see. So nightshades, that means I'm allergic to tomatoes and squash and eggplants, and that makes me sad. But the thing is this, I can eat them. I just can't eat them all the time. Okay? I can have them every once in a while, but I cannot be eating them all the time. Okay. And then I'm trying to think what the other thing that kind of broke my heart. I think that was it. I mean, there was a couple of other things, but I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I won't eat it. No problem. uh, so yeah, it was the nightshades, the tomatoes. I love them. That kind of broke my heart. But anyway, I'm still trying to crack that thing when it comes to the allergies. But once you detox and you learn your allergies, also get a gut biome test. I also did one of those. I want to say in 2019. I need to look that up. I will put it all in the thing. But when you realize what foods are good for you and what foods are not good for you to stay away from, like, we're not all equipped to eat the same thing. So I can't go around telling people go be vegan, or I can't tell people go, eat paleo or whatever. It's like there are certain things some people just can't eat. Okay? It's not good for them in their body. So you know what your body is. Instead of buying, and yeah, I'm just gonna admit some of these tests can be pricey, but then I thought about it before getting this deep into it. I was like, you know what? The American medical system is trash. My parents are lucky because my dad's a vet, like Vietnam vet. So he has health care. He and my mother have health care. If I got sick, even with health insurance, I would be, I don't know. Because there's certain things that a doctor will pay for and certain things a doctor won't pay for. And in having, to have a surgery or something, right? So the healthcare system in the United States is garbage, okay? And I think, and again, if you've gotten this far with me, you already know this, okay? So it was more cost effective for me to be well than it was to just keep eating the way I was eating, doing all the things that I was doing, and get sick, okay? And hope that a pill would save my life. No, okay? My family has history of hypertension. As far as I know, I do not have it. Okay, I'm almost 50. I don't have hypertension because I take care of my body and I monitor those things. Okay. So yeah, so you definitely have got to know what can your beautiful machine do for you. Okay. Then, now, what you've all been waiting for is the things I do use. So I mentioned the magnesium. Everybody can do with magnesium. Everyone, okay? But I said all that before with the allergy test and the gut biome, because the things that I am going to show you, it might not work all of these things for you. So I don't want people, I'm not a doctor, okay? So I don't want people to go talking about, well, so-and-so tried this and it didn't work for me. Please know what your body can tolerate first. Deplete your body first. Detox, not with sugar because that's the devil. And then find out what it is that your body can take safely. No underlying allergies. Because even when I did do my allergy test and I started taking supplements and things like that, you still might end up with some kind of bad reaction. Okay, so I keep looking away. Sorry, you see me looking. I'm looking at the things, and then I'm looking at my phone. The things. All right. So, first things first. Being a teacher, we're literally on our feet from the moment we hit that school building to the moment we leave. Okay, and even when we get home, we're doing stuff. Okay, so we're always working. We're always up. Nobody's sitting behind a desk. This is not, watching whatever kind of TV movie or whatever where you see a teacher sitting at the front at a desk. It's like, that's not how it is in modern times. We're up, okay? We're walking around. I definitely get my steps in, so there's that, okay? And because I'm always on the go, 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 especially because I work with littles, the little babies, the littles, I need something that's going to keep me going without like pooping out at 2 o'clock. Because I'm still, even though school is dismissing, I still have other things to be doing. Okay, so I started researching in the adaptogens. Now, an adaptogen is something, a herb, most likely, yeah, most likely herbs that will keep your body in homeostasis. That means if you're feeling anxious, it will calm you. If you're feeling sluggish, it will give you pep. That is what staying in homeostasis is about. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you my most favorite one, and then I'm going to tell you about a couple of others. There's a lot of them out there. My most favorite one is ashwagandha. You know, some of these things people know now, but back in the day, I hate that y'all have run up the prices of my stuff, but ashwagandha is one of my most favorite ones because it's so subtle. And this is another thing when it comes to taking in these herbs and substances, they're not like a pill. It's not like an instant fix. That's why you have to, first of all, deplete yourself of the toxins, then rebuild. Then, when you're rebuilding, it's going to take some time. So it wasn't almost until like almost 4 or 5 weeks that I've even kind of noticed that there was some kind of difference in me when I was taking ashwagandha. It was almost like I'm I'm I feel okay. You know, I don't feel like garbage. And that's when I knew. All of the things that I have used and experimented with, I always give myself 30 days before I make an decision on, is this working for me or not. So that's another thing when it comes to herbs and things of this nature. Minerals are a little bit different. They can almost work instantly-ish for you. But the herbs, you definitely have to give it time. Okay? You got to let it build into your system because our systems also, I don't want to say recycling, but it takes, I got to find that chart, but it takes like a certain amount of days and weeks for us to get new gut lining, new blood, rebuild liver. Speaking of liver, I always take something to keep my liver strong and going too. I still drink alcohol, but I don't drink nearly as much as I used to, because that was also a part in, I think, 2008 or so. It took me almost a year and a half to really feel like I'm rebuilding my liver, okay? So yeah. So ashwagandha, love it. Love it so much. But the thing is, I don't want to, like, I kind of have to cycle it in and out. I love it, but I can't use it all the time because then it loses its effectiveness and it makes me sad. So then I have a couple of other adaptogens that I like. I like holy basil or tulsi. I always get matcha and maca. It's maca. Maca is actually really good. Like, I like that a lot. In fact, I probably should be getting that soon. And then there's rhodiola. I always keep rhodiola on hand, but I don't use it as much. It's okay. It helps you handle stress, okay, better. It's not as like woohoo lovely as ashwagandha is. I love ashwagandha. Anyway, so yeah, so those are the adaptogens that help keep your body in homeostasis. Now, how to take them? I've taken them in capsule form, tablet form, but my most favorite delivery is tincture, and I'm gonna tell you why. and first before I go any further, a tincture is when, and it's probably the reason why, a tincture is when you take the herb and you let the essences of that herb seep in either glycerin or alcohol, like a distilled alcohol, until the essences of this herb is now in this new liquid. Okay, and then you strain it and all this other good stuff. And so it's the essence of the herb in its purest form. Okay, it's, I feel like it's even more pure than an essential oil. So an essential oil is when you squeeze the ever living daylights out of a plant to its oil. It does not get added water. Okay, it is squeezed, and you need lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of plant material to get an essential oil. And I could talk about that in a moment too. So tinctures are my favorite delivery system for a lot of my herbs. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And so for the ashwagandha, I like it in tincture form. I have this, and I like the holy basil also. I'm looking at it. And then this is not an adaptogen, but I like it in a lot of different forms. Lemon balm, also one of my favorites. Lemon balm is calming, relaxing, is just mellow. And you can have it as a tea, a tincture, tablets. But again, my favorite, like I said, delivery system is in tincture form. And speaking of relaxation, all right, so then, you know, of course, working as a teacher, you're busy. You gotta be focused and, you know, on top of things. Can't, I'm tired. You know, no, kids don't care. They don't care. Okay, so you gotta be on top of it. Then you gotta be like mentally clear, and that was another thing. Like I said before, I struggled with when I had the brain fog and depleted magnesium. I also started investigating nootropics, okay? And that's kind of brain boosters. So I can name a couple of my favorites of those too. Bacopa. There's a Vitex, I think. I don't use Vitex that much, but I do love my Bacopa a lot. I found a recent new one and new delivery system, which also works. Lion's mane. I'm getting more into the mushrooms too now. And recently, the Reishi mushroom. I want to try the others. And there's Ginkgo biloba. So these are all for the brain. Alertness, clear functioning kind of thinking, and you know, just on top of it, because again, you got to be on top of things, remembering things, people's names, kids names, stuff, everything, all the things. But anyway, so yeah, so I'm looking at my things over here. So I've got the Reishi. Reishi is also for immune support too, so and that's yet another aspect of again, what I do is to build up my system. I have to cycle these things out because I don't want to build up too much of like this thing, and then something happens like a bug or weird illness like COVID come around, and then none of my things work anymore. So I kind of have to have a rest period for all of the things I take, and then the rebuilding. So that's what I do. So I do the rest, and then I do the rebuilding. So right now, schools in Atlanta will start about the first week in August. So I have this time now to work on rebuilding my system. And like I said, I use my ashwagandha, I use my holy basil. I love my lemon balm, but that's kind of more like the end of the day, kind of chill kind of thing. So after a long day of work kind of thing. So instead of drinking alcohol, that's killing your liver, that you need your liver to filter out the rest of the pollutants in the world, use the other things instead. You can also use, like I said, essential oils, but smells, calming. That's also something I've learned, where your sense of smell. I got 2 facts for you, so I'm gonna be totally nerdy. But anyway, 2 facts. So fact number 1, your sense of smell is one of the few, like, I don't know what to call it, like nerve, I don't know what to call it, but your sense of smell goes straight to your brain. Okay? So I would use things instead of, like, say if I did have a headache, and I'm going to show you. I got this at a Family Dollar. So there's things to look out for. And again, I might have to do another video about essential oils, because the FDA, it's an unregulated aspect of things. It's unregulated, and so there's a lot of companies out there that, if you're not careful, they're not telling you what's actually in these essential oils. So you have to be careful and be a little savvy and know what you're getting that could be safe, so it doesn't matter. So something like peppermint, as I said earlier, an essential oil is when you squeeze every living daylight's part of that plant down to its oil, okay? And because of that, you need lots and lots and lots of plant material to make an essential oil, okay? Some plants are more plentiful than others, and that's why you will probably see some priced low and some priced a little higher. And then some, I wish I'd brought out my other example, but I can give you a perfect example of frankincense. It is a resin, like from a tree. There's actually 2 kinds, but you have to be careful about when you're looking at the bottle, that sometimes some companies will say it's frankincense, but then they're adding another oil in it to stretch it out. And it's on the bottle, but you got to turn it and read it, okay? You got to turn it and read it and know that, because frankincense, the real frankincense, there's, like I said, 2 varieties. There's one that's more common than the other. You've got to really be careful about where you're buying your essential oils from and what you're looking for, rather than just get it off the shelf or whatever, or buy it off the internet or something. So, but then there are others that it doesn't matter where you get it from or what company you get it from, because there's enough plant material out there that it's easy to get the essential oil. For example, mint. This is peppermint. Plenty of, people, it grows, it's basically a weed, so it grows everywhere. Speaking of lemon balm and peppermint, same family. But anyway, and then lemon, also very common. So 100%, it says it. See, and that's where the tricky part, you got to look at the label. It says 100% pure lemon oil, and it should say that, right? Some, depending on what you're getting out there, you turn that bottle over and you look at that percentage, okay? Look at it, because you might not be getting what you think you're getting. All right, so there's that. So a lot of the common plants, essential oils that are safe, that you can just easily get, like I said, mint, lemon, all the citrus really, and then rosemary that I like a lot. Trying to think of what else is common. I like frankincense, but again, you really do have to be careful. And that's taking it in, sniffing, okay? It goes straight to your head, it helps you relax and all that good stuff. Happy, when you smell happy smells. So anyway, so that helps with the cortisol situation. All right, now, as I was saying, you want to have a calm body, brain, clear focus, healthy immune system, strong liver. So I'm going to show you my thing that builds liver. I'm going to cover this. It's good old-fashioned milk thistle. Milk thistle. I use that to rebuild my liver. I still use it almost, I don't say daily, but I use it a lot. Because, again, our livers are processing so much. It's not, like I said, it's not just the food you eat. It's not just the things you drink. It's the things you put on your skin. Even deodorants, perfumes, makeups, hairsprays, all the things, okay? Eye drops, mouthwash, all that stuff that you would think is like, oh, whatever, you know, I'm not ingesting it. Yes, you are. It's going into your pores, and it's your liver that has to filter it all out. So please treat your liver right, okay? And then last year, and this is another one, oh my gosh, this was such a game changer. Oh my goodness. This is probably the reason why I don't have hypertension. And I'm going to tell y'all, please use this mindfully. You would think good old fashioned beets, okay? And I take them, I haven't taken them in powder form. These are capsule, like, I mean, it's powder, but it's like in the thing. And that's yet another reason why I'm careful about how I do take certain things. Like, there's even the tablets are mixed with things. That's why I like my tinctures, and I'll show you my tinctures in a second. If you take, say, for example, ashwagandha, and they say it's like a blend of ashwagandha and a gelatin and a something else and a rice thing, and it's like, wait, I'm allergic to rice or grains. You know, again, back to the whole thing of like, well, I'm trying to do something that's good for my body, but like even how they made the tablet is not that great, you know? So I try to, you know, do things capsule wise where I can see it. If I really needed or wanted to open this one up, it would get the dust. I would see it. I also take beets in liquid form, like beet juice. Like there's certain health food stores that will store it in the refrigerator, and you know, you cannot, like, this is so serious, you cannot be drinking lots and lots of it because it will drop your blood pressure and you will have some problems. So again, I'm not a doctor, please be mindful, like follow the directions. At most you can drink maybe like a shot glass with added other beverage of your, you know, of your choosing, be in liquid form. But for now, I take it in tablets. I've not seen a beet tincture. Like, I don't see what the reason would be behind that. That's just a little much because beets, again, are so plentiful. That's another reason why I'm okay with taking them in this form, because you can grow them, you can eat them, that kind of thing. So I showed you my milk thistle, my beets. Let me show you my lion's mane. So this is also my newer thing for the brain, and I think also for your immune system. So I have my Reishi. This is the brand that, and you can probably already tell by, like, I can't even covering it up. You can tell by the box. So I tried a couple of other companies, but I like this one. I don't, you know, this one seemed to work for me. And I could take it to work with me. So when other people are drinking coffee in the morning, I'm having this. This is my morning beverage. I also drink ginger too, by the way, speaking of which. So there's also a brand. I'm scared to tell y'all what my brand is because it's already on its last legs. And I don't like it when they repackage and they say they're going out of business or whatever. I don't know. But it's powdered ginger. Nothing I mean, they do have a version that they add sugar in it. But I like it because it's ground up powdered ginger. It is awesome. Love it in the morning. Good for inflammation. Keep your system nice in the morning. So, you know, there's that. I also do every once in a while bone broth. I want to go back to doing collagen. I kind of briefly with the collagen. Now this is where let me go back a little bit now. So I am detoxing. I'm not taking, I am taking the milk thistle right now because it is rebuilding my liver. I'm not really taking the beets right now because I'm not quite, well, I could take it. It's not going to be a horrible thing to take. Every once in a while I'll take the lion's mane, but I'm trying to like flush out bad protein. And this is where what I also wanted to show you before I, sign off here. Um, with the inflammation, and I told you about the sinuses and things like this. So when I started finding this and researching it, it was a game changer for me. So I literally, since when I started using this, taking this, I probably had only one sinus infection, which really, that's a big thing, and no ear infections. No real, like, and I'm going to be graphic, head full of mucus, like mucus on mucus on mucus, okay? So I'm just talking, like, because of the allergies. Now, this substance is called Serapeptus. It is an enzyme from a silkworm. When a worm is ready, or a caterpillar is ready to, come out of the cocoon and things like that, they will secrete this enzyme to dissolve it. And this is an enzyme that eats dead proteins. Game changer. So it cools down inflammation in your body. So this is what I'm doing right now before I rebuild my system with other good things. And that's why I can't have the collagen right now. So, because collagen is protein. And protein is awesome, but there's some protein that's not great. So, it will linger in your body, things like cancer and, like I said, congestion and inflammations and the arthritis and all the itises and, kind of thing. So, Serapeptus, it breaks down unwanted dead protein that is in your body that shouldn't be there anyway. It's a good way to flush it out. There is a protocol you should be following. It has to be taken on an empty stomach for it to work. And then you cannot be taking it for a long period of time because then it won't work anymore. Okay? So when you're dealing with holistic things of this nature, it's not about taking a pill for the rest of your life. It's about learning your body, learning to cycle in and out of things, knowing what's healthy for you. And I'm not saying ever not eat anything ever. Like, even the things I'm allergic to, I know what I'm allergic to so that I don't sit there eating them every day to the point where I get sick and then all of a sudden I'm like, that was the feather that knocked me down. So yeah. That's what I mean by being well. It's like being aware of what your body is capable of, being aware of what your body needs, and taking care of your body, basically. It's not just eat right and exercise like that doctor told me. It is, but it isn't. It's more. You've got to know what your body is made of. Know how your body functions and how your body is going to function. Because yeah, like I said earlier, not every herb is going to be beneficial for everybody, because like I said, I can't even remember the name of it right now. I was taking one or trying one out, and for 2 weeks it just made me ill, just sick. Okay. And I couldn't figure it out until I started again with the elimination, because that's another part of it. It's like when you start layering all at once, you don't know exactly what's the culprit. So once I figured it out, I was like, oh yeah, that's the one added thing I added into my routine. There you go. So yeah, so now I'm going to show you my tinctures. All right, so this is the brand that I like. Seriously, I love this brand. There's another brand I like too. But I just find that this brand is completely like, they do such a wonderful job. And even if I show you the bottle, like you can, again, you would know because of their packaging. Herb Pharm. I just, yeah, I can't say enough good things about this particular brand. Like, I've been using them for years now. Once I realized that tinctures were for me, I even use it for cooking. So I even have like a garlic tincture. I had, oh yeah, that reminds me, I need to up my ginger. So I used to take the ginger tincture to school with me, and my little, my things, and my lemon. So yeah, I have a tea bar in my school because I'm fancy like that. So yeah, so I would bring things like that to add to my teas during the day. But here's my lemon balm. I would use this in the, when I come home. Of course, this, helps you relax. But starting the day with this or this, add it into my morning drinks before I leave for work. Then if I'm on my second or third morning drink, um, I do drink vegetable juice, and I'm not talking about smoothies. I drink straight, like, celery juice that's not sugared, okay? Carrot juice that's not sugared or salted. Like, literally, like, there's a company in our town that does pure juices, no added, nothing. And I, get a couple of bottles of that per week, and, drink that in the morning with all of my other supplements and things like that. But yeah, I don't do smoothies with like dairy. That's another thing. I can't really eat a lot of dairy. Um and no added sugar, no extra fruits or anything like that. I used to eat a lot of bananas. Don't, too sugary, too much sugar. Okay? So it's almost like I have a sugar bank too. So once I stopped eating packaged foods, what do I normally eat? I still stick with meat and veg. I love Brussels sprouts, broccoli. I do have butter, but the grass-fed kind. Um, I don't eat pasta anymore. I do have mushroom noodles. Um, if I really wanted like noodles, so I have the mushroom noodles, and I do eat uh beef mostly, and eggs. And recently I started eating chicken again. I don't know how I feel about that though. Um, or don't eat meat at all. So that's another thing. It's like, I'm not officially vegetarian or vegan. I do love seafood. I do eat a lot of seafood. So I just I practice eating more vegetables than meats. And it's almost like in America, I do it the flip side. So I focus more on the vegetable, and then the meat is like a little side portion. Okay, so if I had something a, like a salad, and that's usually what I end up eating, like a really big salad with arugula. Ooh yeah, arugula and kale and spinach and stuff like that, and maybe an egg. Okay, or maybe a piece of tuna on it, and that's it. No salad dressing. That's another thing. I even had to tell my mom, I was like, nope. Oh, you know how much sugar is in salad dressing? Y'all know. I use an oil, olive oil, if I wanted to dress it up, and then throw some spices on it. But yep, that's how I eat, y'all. So, and then I'm not as active as I could be. I will admit to that. Because when the shutdown shut down, I'm telling y'all, oh, we were on these computers, sitting a lot. It was torture, and I will admit I did put some weight back on because of that, because I had to sit down all the time. So the weight is going away, and I am practicing, lots of resting, stretching. I'd love to stretch, that kind of thing. Making sure have my tinctures out there. I do. Because it's so sneaky. Sugar is so this is where, again, the food industry has made it to where this is how they hook people on food, like fat, sugar, salts. So when on a package, if somebody says something is non-fat, this is the hack. If they said non-fat on the package, you might want to look on the back of the package and see how much sugar they added in, because that's the hack. And you know what? I do treat myself, so it's not like I just don't eat any sugar. I eat chocolate, I do, but I eat something, it's got to be 85% or higher. No sugar. I remember the first time I had the 90% sugar. Oh my gosh, that was like, whew, knocked me down. Okay, so, but I like it. I love dark chocolate, and I guess that's the sugar that I have that I like. And it's not like I just don't eat it all, like at all, but I want to preserve like my sugar bank, all if that makes sense. If I had a you know, oh no, sorry, my battery's leaving me. Okay, so I have to be mindful of my sugar bank. And oh wait, it's my battery. So say if I did, somebody said, oh, here's an ice cream sundae, you want it? And I'm like, well, first of all, is it coconut milk or whatever? And they're like, yeah, sure. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can have it. So it's not like I go around eating sugar every day. So that's the slippery slope of mindful eating. We get into a habit, and I talk about habits too. So we get into a habit of like, oh, I'm going to treat myself tonight because I had such a long day. Say if we don't even drink alcohol, say I'm going to treat myself to a cookie tonight because I had a long day at work. I'm going to treat myself tonight. Next day, treat myself. Next thing you know, you're eating cookies every day. That's not a treat anymore. Okay? So you have to kind of really be careful about that kind of thing. But yeah. Let's see, what else do I do? Oh, I do eat lots of berries when I get my hands on them, like raspberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, when I get my hands on them. Yep, it is. I do remember quitting sugar. It was so hard, and because you would get the withdrawals, and that's where I talked about earlier in the video, where you really kind of have to do a detox first. When I was really ill and they wanted to give me an allergy test, a food allergy test, I had to go on a restrictive diet for like almost 2 months before they tested me. Like they would, put the needles in my arm. So I literally had nothing to eat but like green vegetables and meat, and that was it. And so yeah, not even fruit. But yeah, you just kind of have to find a way to slowly wean yourself off of the sugar, and you'd be so surprised to where now if somebody gives me something that has sugar, like sugar burns me. Just like if you put too much salt on something, sugar burns. And then you realize how much sugar is in certain things. You're like, wow. You're like, oh my gosh, why am I eating this? This is, ugh. So then you start to see how bad it really is. So yeah, so I would say you definitely got to plan it out. So I'll just say that. So don't just go out there willy-nilly saying, I'm just going to stop eating sugar one day. Make it a plan. Start in waves. There's one way that people do consume a lot of sugar in beverages. So maybe start in that way with just, instead of sodas and juices, just drink water. What people call coffee. I do drink coffee every once in a while, but black coffee, because I used to work in a coffee shop back in the day. I learned how to drink just nothing but straight black coffee, and it's not bad at all. But yeah. And then back to the tincture thing. So I've, over the years, I've told people what I do. They would ask me questions like, well, what do you use, or what do you try? I try to get my mom into these too, and it's more like, oh, these taste nasty. I was like, I'm not doing it for the taste. I'm doing it for my health. I'm doing it so I can be well. Okay? And that's again where the food industry has really, really messed us up. They have trained us to only eat food that tastes good. Okay? Tastes good because they've trained our taste buds. And I'll admit, yeah, I'll say, let me try to remember the one thing that really had me like, ugh. I love black seed oil. A lot of people can't handle that too, so I can, talk about that at another time. A lot of these tinctures are a little strong for some people. I have no problem taking them. In fact, let me take my lemon balm right now. What time is it? It's almost 8 o'clock. Oh yeah, it's lemon balm time. So normally most people you can drop this into a drink, a beverage or something, because they depending on what it is, it does burn. So a bit. I put mine right underneath my tongue. So you will get a burning. And it does stain your teeth. That's another bad habit that I used to have. So you have to get your teeth cleaned definitely every 6 months. But yeah, so I would say definitely plan out the detox, the sugar detox. And yes, you're going to end up with things like headaches and being tired, maybe cranky. There are some things that you could take that's not quite a substitute, but it helps. Cinnamon. There's 2 different varieties of cinnamon. I would say honey. Be careful again with that because that is still sugar. If you just need a little something, if you're having a headache, and I mean raw, like honey, like not added sugar honey. You might have to go to a health food store again to go find the honey is real when it's in the stick form, like a honey stick. Then yeah. And then it's portion controlled. That's another thing. Portion controlled. So again, I can still, now, it's been years now to where I just don't eat that much sugar, and then I can still get away with eating like let's see, what do you call those things? Reese's Pieces, like 1 or 2. But after that, I'm just like, can't have any more. But then, oh yeah, so again, the sugar peppermints, you'd be surprised. That would help with sugar craving too. I would say, yeah, definitely look into those things. Maybe I should make a protocol on sugar detox. Because, yeah, it is hard. That was definitely one of the harder things. Even before I got sick, I tried. And, like, I maybe lasted a good week or so. And I was like, I've got headaches. Oh, my gosh, I'm dying. It's worse than trying to give up alcohol, which alcohol is a sugar. So, yeah. So I would say definitely take your time, plan it out. Start with the beverages first. I don't eat condiments for that reason. The only condiment that I can rely on for sure is mustard. Okay? When I'm in a restaurant, if I have to have a salad dressing, I tell them, bring me your spicy mustard and bring it on the side. I will eat my salad dry. I do. Like, don't put anything on my food and give it to me. I want to see the dry leaves of my salad, and I want the condiment on the side so I can portion control that, even if they did put sugar in it. Like usually a balsamic vinaigrette is sugary. Anything creamy, of course, is sugary. Mustard might be the only thing, unless it's like a honey mustard, and then of course there's sugar in it, of course. But yeah, I would definitely plan it out. Find the foods, and I hate saying eliminate. I would encourage the things you can eat, and lean into the foods that you like that are healthy, but finding healthier ways to eat them. Sauces, condiments, they're all not good. Unless you make it yourself, then you know what's exactly in it. Yeah. So yeah, so if I were to make I know this was actually longer than I wanted. Like, I wanted to lean into the tincture, so I I will have to up what I put down in my description box for this one, because I had one for the other live. But I'm going to put in the description box my tinctures that I like. There's others, I promise you. I do take a lot more for other reasons. Um, the minerals, magnesium. Get yourself some magnesium out there in these streets, because I'm going to tell you, it will change your life. Okay? Also for immune system, I can talk about zinc, potassiums, iodine. You got to be a little careful with that. I've tried that once or twice. Selenium, the selenium, iodine, potassium, zincs, good for the immune system. The adaptogens, my ashwagandha, love it. Holy basil, love it. Maca, not matcha, maca. Rhodiola, Ginkgo biloba, but that's more for brain. Then brain health, then you've got bacopa, lion's mane that I like now, and then I'm starting with the reishi. So that's great, and it's great for the immune system. So sometimes a lot of these do more than one thing. So it's awesome. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so if you have any like requests, I should just go ahead and, I don't know. It's so funny. I've been doing this stuff for years and years. I even used to make lotions and oils and stuff. I was kind of in the middle of a renovation. I don't know. I paused. I used to have a thing, but I paused on that. But I can definitely do like a sugar detox protocol. But part of it is definitely find out what you might be allergic to, because even though I named a few of these things, you might be allergic to them, so it won't help you. All right, and with that, take care, my friends. Subscribe. I will try to do these weekly on the weekends, because as a teacher, when school gets back in, I can't do this a lot. But yeah, so lean into building up your immune systems, weaning yourself away from sugar, leaning into, always, oh, thank you. Thank you. Leaning into the essential oils. Maybe that'll be the next one, because that's one of those, I tell you, it's a growing industry, essential oils, but you got to be careful out there. There are things that it doesn't matter where you get them from because of the plant material. Then there's others that you're going to pay some money for the real deal. So don't, think that it's a scam. It really is, because of how it's made. But yeah, and with that, take care, everybody. I'm going to go have my big old salad. Let's see, what kind of protein can I have on it today? Yeah, I guess I'll keep going with the chicken for now. But yeah, big salad. Yeah.